Hello, welcome. We are going through 6 tips to wake up at 6 a.m, how to become a morning person. Recently, I've been getting up really early and I want to share with you the tips that have been helping me. A night owl, to be clear, helped me get up early because I think these things will help you too and you can become a morning person, finally. The first one is an obvious one, but it needs saying. Go to bed early. Set yourself up for success. It will be so much easier to get up early if you've gone to bed early. Now, this might start a couple days before you actually want to get up at 6 a.m. because you might find it is difficult to go to sleep early when you're not used to going to sleep so early. You might end up staying up, say, till 11, not being able to sleep, and then the idea of waking up at 6 a.m., you may set your alarm, you may have like your determination as you go to sleep, you're like, yes, this is the time I'm waking up, but then your alarm goes off at 6 and you just hit snooze and you end up waking up at like 7 or whenever you normally wake up and you're like, no. This has happened to me many times. The way to fix this is to do it over a period of days first off. So start going to bed early, but don't be like, I'm going, instead of midnight or 11, I'm going to bed at 10. Just do it by like half an hour and get up half an hour earlier. Instead of trying to go from waking up at 7:30 to waking up at 6, go from 7:30 to 7:15. And similarly, instead of going to bed the night before at 11 or 12 or 11:30, go to bed at quarter to 12, quarter past 11, quarter to 11. You see? Like, do it gradually over a period of days. Don't make life difficult for yourself. Why are you trying to stress yourself out? Do this gradually. And also that's going to mean it's more sustainable and is more likely to continue. It's not just going to be like a one-off thing of like, yay, I woke up at 6 a.m. This is how you build a habit with it, is like being consistent with it. And by making it easy for yourself and doing a little bit every day. What's the saying? Gretchen Rubin talks about this in her book, The Happiness Project. She talks about how we can overestimate what we can get done in the short term and underestimate what we can get done in the long term. So focus on small things, the small steps, and they will add up to bigger things long term. We can have an all or nothing perspective on things. And actually, if we were to just take little steps every day, we might be able to get more done than if we just tried to do everything all at once. And I think this definitely, in my experience, applies to trying to get up early. Similarly, throughout the day, if you are so I work from home. If I'm just sat at home all day, it's then going to get to the end of the day and I'm probably not going to be that tired. So it's then going to be even more difficult to wake up early the next day because I'm probably not going to be able to go to sleep early because I'm not tired enough because I've not done enough. If you commute or, work in an office, this probably is not a problem for you because you're probably exhausted by the end of the day. Do whatever you can, whether that is like going for an extra long walk or going for a run, trying to stay a bit more busy because that's going to make you more physically tired. And also if you can then have like a wind down routine before bed, so don't just like go from staring at your phone to then lying down and expecting to be able to go to sleep. Again, set yourself up for success. Don't make things more difficult for yourself. If you are trying to go to bed early but you're struggling, just try and be still. Don't stress about it. Don't worry. Your body will gradually adjust. Just lie there, be still in the dark, have a podcast on or some calming music or whatever you need, and eventually you will go to sleep. Do some deep breathing. That always helps me. I like doing square breathing. So you just breathe in for 4, for example. It's always the same number. So like you breathe in for 3, hold for 3, breathe out for 3, hold for 3, breathe in for 3. But like pick whatever number you want. If you can only do 2, fine. If you want to do like 7, good luck, but like you can do that as well. The next thing is to outline and plan your morning the night before. The key with this, specifically when you're trying to establish waking up early as a habit, key with it is to eliminate any thinking. So you don't want to be waking up at 6 a.m. feeling really tired and then having to decide like, am I going for a walk? Am I going for a run? Am I reading? Am I doing some creative work? For me, that would be like editing, right? But you might want to be doing some writing or some coding or graphic design. You don't want to be deciding when you wake up what you're going to do because you may, 1, go back to sleep. You may just be like, I can't be bothered. But 2, you might also pick something that's easier to do. So you might be like, okay, I'll read because that means I can stay in bed, when actually you might have got a lot of benefit from going for a walk early. Decide what you're going to do. If you want, make a to-do list. If you want to do various things, we're going to talk about the benefits of taking it slow a bit later. Also, you can lay out your clothes the night before. So if you're going for a walk or going for a run, you can put out your leggings, whatever t-shirt you're going to wear, whatever jumper, or if you're going to hop in the shower first thing, then lay out your clothes for the day. Like, as much as possible, eliminate any thinking that you're going to have to do when you're getting up that early, because if you're not used to it, like me, it's going to be quite overwhelming, or you're just going to make the wrong decision. And then when you've like fully woken up a couple hours later, you're going to be like, oh, why did I do that? Why didn't I do something else? Outline your morning the night before, prepare as much as you can. Also, I'm talking about like planning and outlining, but like be excited for this. If this is something that you want to do and you've clicked on this video and you're like, I want to become a morning person, this is exciting. And I have enjoyed getting up super early because of like the extra time that it's given me, and it's made me feel like I'm awake before the rest of the world and all this stuff. Like, we're going to get into some of that. As you outline your morning of what you're going to do, like get excited for the fact that you're going to get up and make pancakes, or you're going to read your book for half an hour when normally you don't have the time to do that in the morning. Like, this is exciting. If possible, plan your morning to suit the weather. This maybe is more of a consideration now that we're going into autumn, because we have been quite lucky with the weather recently, and it's not ever really been something that I've had to consider. If it's going to be sunny, you can be like, yeah, let's go for a walk. If it's raining, you can still be like, yeah, let's go for a walk. I can often use that as an excuse not to go for a walk, but it's very easy. You just wear clothes that you know, okay, I'm going for a walk, I'm going to get like drenched in the rain, and then I'm going to come home and have a shower and get changed. So then you plan your outfit accordingly, depending on where you live, obviously, but I live where it's quite rainy, particularly in autumn. So it's a good idea to check the weather and just be as prepared as possible to, again, eliminate any thinking. So you're not waking up and being like, oh no, it's raining. Oh, I've got to change my plans. Oh no, oh my gosh, I'm going back to sleep now. Take it slow. Enjoy the extra time. I have noticed that as I've been waking up early, I'm having to fight like this urge of being productive with the morning. And if you want to do that, great. And you want to be like, I'm going to clean the bathroom and like change my bed sheets and like have a shower and go for a run and make a cooked breakfast or whatever. If you want to do all that, that's great. But you don't have to. You can take it slow and just be like, I'm going to read for an hour and then I'm going to get ready for the day. Or I'm going to go for a nice long walk, listen to my favourite podcast on the walk, and come back and read and then make breakfast and get on with the day. It doesn't have to be like, I must cram as many activities into this morning as possible. If you want to do that and you want to try it, fine. But you may find, like me, that is just adding some more pressure to the day and more like stress. And that means you're then going to be less likely the next day to want to wake up early, because you're starting to associate getting up early with like having to do this massive to-do list or checklist of chores or things that need doing. And if you want to do that, great, but like there's no pressure to do that. You can just enjoy the morning for what it is. So like enjoy the time to make a more time consuming breakfast than you normally would. Walk slowly as you go on your walk, or go on a longer walk than you normally would. If you do find yourself like rushing about, pause, take some deep breaths and remind yourself to be present and enjoy this time. Don't just be rushing on to the next thing that you've got planned. Talking of planning, leave some space. Don't overplan. And this is why I wanted to start by saying take it slow. The reason to not overplan is if you leave space in your morning before you have to get started on work or started with the day, you might be surprised by what you are drawn to do. So you might think, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I want to read for half an hour. I also know I want to make breakfast. Maybe you have to leave at 7:30. So you've got some time there that you've not planned out. You've not like scheduled every minute of it. I found when I did this that suddenly I wanted to play the piano for a bit, and I spent 10 minutes playing piano. I'd not planned to do that, but I was like, oh, I've got some unexpected time here because I've woken up early and I've not overplanned my whole morning. What do I want to do? And I was like, let's play piano. And it was so calming and such a nice moment and like such a nice reflective way to start the day. I had the pedal on so that it was quiet, so it wasn't like disturbing other people. But don't overplan, leave space. You might be drawn to do some writing or to write some poetry, to like reorganize your bookshelves, to pick up a non-fiction book that you've been putting off. Give yourself the time, like allow yourself to meander. Have some time that's unplanned in the morning. We mentioned don't stress. That's its own point that I want to emphasize, because you want this to be an enjoyable experience. You want to like reap the benefits of getting up early, and if you're stressing about it either the night before because you're worried about, oh my gosh, I can't sleep, or you're stressing during the morning because you're thinking, I can't fit in everything that I plan to do, any kind of like stress or like negative feelings about it, it's going to mean that you're less likely to continue doing this, and also it's just not going to be enjoyable and it's not going to be like a pleasant experience. And if you want to become a morning person, it's got to be something that you enjoy. You have to like factor in things that you enjoy. And I understand that for some people, in terms of like the different commitments and time commitments that you have, maybe this isn't going to be enjoyable. Maybe you're going to feel like, if I want to do everything that I want to do with my morning, I'd have to wake up at like 5, and that's way too early because then I'm not going to get enough sleep. I want to say like prioritize sleep. And I know I'm coming from a place of, I work from home, so I don't have a commute. I think even just if you're able to add like an extra 15 minutes in the morning, you may not be able to add like a whole extra hour like I'm doing, because I was getting up, a lot later than what I am now. But even just that extra 15 minutes, you will probably see some benefit from it, whether you decide to spend that reading or like meditating, using like a meditating app. I really like the Lectio 365 reflections in the morning. There will be some benefit to it. You could do some journaling. You will find something from it, but only if you are not putting like loads of pressure on it and not like stressing yourself out about all the stuff that you need to do or about the fact that you didn't get enough sleep or whatever, that will gradually adjust as you get used to waking up earlier. You will maybe have a few days where you're only getting like 6 or 7 hours sleep because you can't fall asleep and then you're waking up early. But because then you're waking up early and you're staying awake and not just hitting snooze, then your body will adjust and you'll get tired earlier in the evenings. This is kind of a trade-off and something that I've been thinking about because I am a night owl and sometimes I can feel more creative in the evening. So I'm trying to like balance when I'm doing my creative work because I don't want to save it all for the evening and then be having to go to bed at like 10 because I woke up early. There's like plenty of flexibility with this and just like experiment with it. But again, all of that being said, the overarching theme of this whole point is to not stress. It will work out. You just need to find what works for you, even if that's only an extra 15 minutes, waking up 15 minutes earlier. The last one is to document it. Document your early morning. I have been enjoying going for a walk early and I'm taking photos of the sky or like the way the light looks through the leaves as I'm walking around the neighborhood. It's so cool. There are multiple reasons to document this. One, first of all, it's then like pretty sky pictures or pretty like light pictures. Like if you look at my camera roll, it's full of like cloud photos and the way the light is coming through the trees or the leaves. It's like I never get tired of looking at nature and taking photos and being like, wow, this is so cool. That's clearly one reason to document your early morning. Maybe you're not going for a walk, but like document the nice pancakes you made or like the cooked breakfast you made yourself, sitting outside and having a cup of tea. That's one reason. The other reason to do this is because you may start to forget that you woke up so early. I've found this. It does like rearrange time a little bit, I've found, because normally I have quite a good internal clock. It's been thrown off by me waking up early because I'm expecting it to be like 3 and it's actually like 1:30 because I'm waking up however much earlier. But because of that, time feels a bit strange and so I can forget that I woke up that early and I look at the photos, I'm like, wait, was that today? I went on a walk today and took this nice photo of the sky. That's so cool. Like, oh my gosh. It's kind of like you forget that this is what you did, or time is moving so differently that you can sort of forget that this is something you accomplished. So that's a reason to document it and be like, no, look, this has the timestamp in my photo app that this was today at 6:30 or at 7:30 that I took this. You can document as well by writing. I talk a lot about journaling. It is very important and has the power to change your life. It is a brilliant habit to get into. So write about your experience, write about what you enjoyed or the difficulties you found. And then if you reflect on what you've written afterwards, that can help you make a better morning routine for yourself. What things did you enjoy? Maybe you thought you'd like going for an early morning run, but you're like, oh my gosh, I felt sick or I felt not present. I really didn't enjoy that. It was like way too intense for like just waking up. Or maybe you're like, oh, I went for a run and I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Write about this. You're learning about yourself. You're learning about how to make things easier for yourself, how to enjoy your life more. I did a whole video about that, so I'll link that if you want to check that out, about how to enjoy your life more, how not to hate your life. But the other important reason to document this, maybe you want to write about it, the other reason is so that you can like celebrate it and be like, yes, I really enjoyed this, and like reinforce to yourself all of the benefits that you found from waking up so early. Both the photos then that you take and what you write about, it can remind you how much fun this was and be like, oh my gosh, look at what I got done, or I read like 2 chapters of my book, this is so cool, or I really enjoyed making pancakes this morning. It will help you keep building the habit because you're telling yourself, this is cool, like look what I managed to achieve, look what I got done, I really enjoyed my really peaceful morning. I have a whole video coming out soon about the benefits of waking up early, and so if this video hasn't convinced you to start waking up early, maybe that one will. Please subscribe if you'd like to see that when it comes out. And in the meantime, I will leave my How Not to Hate Your Life video on the screen because I did mention that just now. That is full of ways to help you enjoy your life more. Notice the little things that make life a bit better. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.